Was your stepdad there overnight?
Yes.
When you woke up, was Mr. Boatwright at your house?
I think so.
Okay. This is, you have been asked this question many, many times, is that correct?
Yes.
In 2018, you gave that statement first to Detective Curcio in October of 2018, and you were asked the question of whether Michael was there. You gave a different answer than you are giving now, correct?
Yes.
When you woke up, was Trayvon at your house?
Yes.
In 2018, when you gave this statement to Detective Curcio, and you were asked that question, did you tell Detective Curcio something else?
Judge, I'm going to object. This is improper impeachment. There are at least 5 or 4 statements, 3 of which are from 2018. And I believe he has to
October of 2018.
page line, please.
We're not there yet.
Well, I'm objecting to
Maybe we
improper
go sidebar.
impeachment.
Overruled. Did you tell, in October of 2018, did you tell Detective Curcio something else?
Yes.
Were you lying in 2018, or are you lying to this jury now about whether Michael and Trayvon were at your house on June 18, 2018, when you woke up?
So was I lying in 2018?
Were you lying in 2018, or are you lying to this jury now?
I was lying in 2018.
Isn't it true you can't get your story straight about whether Michael and Trayvon were there at your house when you woke up, because they weren't at your house when you woke up?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
Is there a reason why you would lie about something like that in 2018?
Yes.
What's the reason?
Because I was trying to minimize my involvement.
I understand that, and you have testified to that. How does saying that Michael and Trayvon weren't at your house when you woke up in 2018 minimize your involvement?
I believe I told Detective Curcio that they was already at Dedrick Williams' house.
And that minimizes your involvement somehow.
Yes, because that would be me saying that I didn't know anything about these guns or anything like that.
Let's talk about this rental car. You testified on Wednesday that Dedrick specifically rented the car to rob people. Remember that?
Yes.
You're sure of that as you sit here right now?
Yes.
There's no question in your mind about that.
Yes.
Isn't it true that at the time Dedrick rented the car, you had no idea why Dedrick was renting the car?
You say, is it true that I didn't know?
Correct.
No, I was fully aware.
All right. In your October of 2018 statement to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
You lied in 2018.
Yes.
Judge, I'm going to object. It's improper impeachment. May we go sidebars to this? It's, the way he's doing it is improper
Hold on.
impeachment.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my sidebar thingy is not working, which is why the microphone system seems to not be working. I've asked someone from court system to come down and take a look at it, but until they do, and I don't have someone to stand by and go the whole time, so I'm gonna need you to step back, when we have sidebar. Apologize about that. Thank you for your comment.
He's not properly doing it.
I don't understand the state's objection. The witness is saying something today that is different from what he said in October of 2018. I asked him, you said something different in 2018. That is the next step. And to this point, every time he said yes.
And he's admitted it. So if you're going to
All right.
impeach someone, he's admitted it.
But if he said
All right.
no,
Instead of you two arguing with each other, the court will make its ruling. I have some understanding of 608 and impeachment rules. You can ask a question. Did you make a statement at such and such time that was different? You don't have to ask the exact question. You can just ask the question, did you make a different statement at such and such time? If the witness says no, now we're gonna say page, line, date, where, all that kind of stuff, and give them an opportunity to be refreshed if necessary, and then ask it again. When the witness says, yeah, I did give a different, the inquiry is done. And that's the procedure. And that's the way it's set out in the law. And that's the way we've been doing it for a long time. So up to this point, Mr. Kimmock's questions have been appropriate. He's asking, did you make a different statement? And the witness himself has said, yeah, I lied at that time. So he's admitted to these inconsistencies. So if you were now to say, all right, let me pull them out and show them, no, that would be improper because he's made the admission. But the procedure at this point is correct. The objection's overruled. Thank you, Judge. Anything further?
No.
Thank you. Bring it on.
That's fine.
All right.
Third entry.
Parties may be seated, court will come to order. Parties present, welcome back. Counsel may proceed.
Good. You told this jury that you know that Dedrick rented the car to rob someone, correct?
Yes.
You weren't assuming, correct?
Yes.
You weren't guessing, correct?
Yes.
You know, correct?
Yes.
In July of 2022, 8 months ago, when you gave a statement to this prosecutor, did you say something different?
I don't remember.
Excuse me?
I don't remember.
If I showed you a copy of your deposition, or excuse me, of that statement, a transcript of that statement, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
2022 statement, bottom of page 8, top of page 9. I'm sorry, I should have asked permission. May I please witness, Judge?
You may.
I ask you to start at line 19 and then go through line 5 of the next page.
Long what?
Line 5. 6, yeah. You can read as much as you want. Got it? That refresh your recollection as to whether you said something different about that in July of 2022.
Yes.
And did you in fact say something different in July of 2022?
Yes.
Something different than what you have told this jury about whether you knew that Dedrick rented that car to rob someone, correct?
I said I assume yes.
You said, I guess, and I assume,
Yes.
correct? Were you telling the truth to this jury?
Jay? You said I might tell you.
Speak up, I'm sorry, sir. When you testified about that, when the prosecutor was asking you questions, when you said you knew that Dedrick, that's why Dedrick rented the car, were you telling the truth to this jury?
Yes.
You told this jury that the whole plan that day was to ride around and rob people, correct?
Yes.
Back in October of 2018 to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
I believe so.
Do you want to see the statement to refresh your recollection on that?
Yes.
Referring to the October 23rd, 2018 statement, page 61. You could start at line 13, and you can read as long, you can read to the bottom.
Line 13.
Start at line 13, read to the bottom.
Right there.
Did Detective Curcio asked you if you knew what they were getting into that day.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Does this refresh your recollection about what you said back then?
Yes.
And with regards to whether there was some sort of plan to rob someone, did you say something different in October of 2018 than what you were telling this jury during this testimony?
Yes.
Let me keep this for a second. And am I correct that during this conversation back in October of 2018, did you feel like you were being pressured by the police to say something that you didn't know?
No.
Back in 2018, did you say something different?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
No.
Sure. Back in October of 2018, did you tell the police that you felt like they were trying to pressure you to say something that wasn't true?
I don't remember.
If I showed you a copy of your statement, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Bottom of page 61, line 23. Back in October, does that refresh your recollection as to whether back in October of 2018, you felt like the police were trying to pressure you to say something that wasn't true?
Yeah.
Did you feel like the police were trying to pressure you to say something that wasn't true?
I really don't remember.
You remember saying it now, is that correct?
Yes.
Again, after the October 2018 statement, you said there was no plan. State refused to make a deal with you, correct? They didn't make a deal with you in 2018, correct?
No.
They didn't make a deal with you in 2019, 2020, or 2021, correct?
Correct.
I don't know that I'm.
That's you. They were, fixing the audio, but I'm telling this is probably not what we had in mind.
No.
Well, Mike. and say something into the microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, no. Hi, sorry, Steve.
Between 2018 and 2022, your story changed about whether there was a plan to rob someone, correct?
Yes.
You told this jury yesterday that, it may have been the day before, that everybody left Dedrick's house with a gun, correct?
Yes.
You said all four of you had a gun, correct?
Yes.
And your testimony was that you were planning to do a robbery, and that's why everybody had a gun, correct?
Yes.
Back in 2018, when you were under oath, as you are now, did you say something different about that?
Yes.
The first time that you saw a gun, was it at the time that right at the moment that the robbery was about to take place?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. The very first time you saw a gun on June 18th, 2018, was it at the moment that the robbery was fixing to take place?
No.
Back in 2018, October of 2018, in the statement to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
When you were getting into the Dodge Journey at Chucky's house, so you're at Chucky's house, you are getting into the Dodge Journey, did you know there were guns in the car when you got into the Journey?
Yes.
Back in October of 2018, when you were talking to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
The rifle that was actually used in the shooting, did you see that rifle prior to the robbery?
Yes.
Back in October of 2018, when you were speaking to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
You told this jury that you first saw the rifle come into the car with Michael, correct?
Yes.
Back in October of 2018, when you were under oath and speaking to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
You told this jury that you specifically saw Dedrick with a gun, correct?
Yes.
In fact, the prosecutor showed you an actual gun, and you said that was the gun that Dedrick had that day, correct?
Yes.
And you said that you saw Dedrick, you said to this jury that you saw Dedrick with that gun June 18, 2018, correct?
Yes.
Back in October of 2018, when you were speaking to Detective Curcio, did you say something different? I showed you a copy of that statement. Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
While we're doing that, let me pause here, I just want to try this. Seems to be working. Okay, thank you.
Page 21, the top of page 21. You know, I need page 20. Sorry. so it's the bottom of page 20, line 24 to the top of page 21, line 7. Start there. So you told this jury that you saw Dedrick with a gun on June 18th, 2018. Back in October of 2018, when you were giving a statement to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
Let's go to July of 2022. When you were, well, you just told this jury that you knew that there were guns well before the robbery, correct?
Yes.
In the July 2022, when you were being interviewed by this prosecutor, just 8 months ago, did you say something different?
Not sure I remember.
I showed you a copy of that. Will that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Page 9, line 21. If you look at page 9, line 21, just read the question and answer. You told this jury that you knew that there were guns in that car long before the robbery started. In July of 2022, just 8 months ago when you were being interviewed by this prosecutor, did you say something different?
Yes.
On Tuesday night, when the prosecutor came to see you, she talked to you about when you had first seen these guns.
No.
When you arrived at Revo and you were going into the store, who had the keys to the journey?
I don't remember.
Was the car turned on or was it left off?
I don't remember.
You, going back to talking about the guns, you described in detail for this jury the guns that you say were there that day, correct?
Yes.
You said that Newsome had a .38, correct?
Yes.
You said that Michael had a GSK-22, correct?
Yes.
And you identified a gun that you said was Dedrick's, correct?
Yes.
Back in October of 2018, when you were being interviewed by Detective Curcio, did you know the caliber of the guns that you say had been in the car with you?
Yes.
And did you say something different to Detective Curcio in October of 2018 about whether you knew anything about those guns?
Yes.
When asked what kind of gun Michael had in October of 2018, did you say something different than what you told this jury?
Yes.
When you were asked what caliber of weapon Trayvon had in October of 2018, did you say something different than what you have told this jury?
I don't remember.
If I showed you a copy of that statement, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
You look at Is there a reason your story has changed about the caliber of weapons that were involved in the robbery?
Yes.
You told this jury that when you were in Riva, you tried to call Michael, but it did not connect. Is that correct?
Yes.
Specifically with regards to whether it connected or not, whether you actually spoke to Michael. Back in October of 2018, when you were speaking to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
You said that you had spoken to Michael, correct?
Yes.
Going to 2022. All right, well, let's start here. At this trial, you have told this jury that the reason you called Michael was to confirm that it was X that was in the store, correct?
Yes.
In July of 2022, just 8 months ago, when this prosecutor was interviewing you, did you say something different about the reason that you called Michael?
I don't remember.
Did Dedrick ask you to call Michael to see if Michael needed anything in the store?
No.
Would it refresh your recollection as to whether you said anything different if I showed you a transcript of that statement?
Yes.
Page 10, line 11. Page 10, well, it actually kind of starts up at line 4, I guess. Line 4 down through line 13. Got it?
No.
All right. So, you've told this jury that you called Michael to tell Michael what, that X was in the car, correct?
Yes.
In July of 2022, did you say something different?
Yes.
That was just 8 months ago to this prosecutor, correct?
Yes.
Is there a reason your story has changed between July of 2022 and your testimony here today, the last 3 days?
Yes.
Isn't it true that that story keeps changing because you never called Michael on June 18th, 2018?
I called
Let's talk about why this, what the plan was, when you were gonna perpetuate this robbery. Was the plan to rob X of his jewelry, or was the plan to rob X of the bag?
the bag.
In October of 2018, let me back up. The plan was the plan specifically to avoid the jewelry?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because they had a crab lock on it.
That was something that you discussed.
Yes.
Back in October of 2018, when asked what the plan was, what you were trying to take, did you say something different?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. You believe so or you know?
Can I see something? So refresh the memory.
Yes, absolutely. Page 24, line 10 through 14. Does that refresh your recollection about whether you said something different in October of 2018 about whether the plan was to rob X of his jewelry?
Yes.
You told this jury that the plan was to rob him of the bag, correct?
Yes.
In October of 2018, did you in fact say something different?
Yes.
You told this jury that on the way, that after the robbery, while you were driving south from Pompano, that Michael looked in the bag while you all were in the car, correct?
Yes.
In October of 2018, when asked whether anyone looked in the bag on your way down from Pompano, did you say something different?
Yes.
Is there a reason why your story changed between October of 2018 and now? Seek to move Fence B into evidence.
No objection.
Objection.
Without objection, what was previously marked defense exhibit B for identification shall be received into evidence as defendant Boatwright exhibit 2, a composite of what?
Permission to publish.
You may publish it, well.
Showing you 1 of 4. Who are we looking at?
Me.
That is, what's in your hand?
Money,
Where'd the money come from?
a robbery,
204. Whoops. Also you, correct?
yes,
All right, taken same time, same place, correct?
yes,
3 of 4, correct? That's still you, correct?
yes,
Taken same time, is that correct?
yes,
And 4 of 4. 4 of 4. Is that also you?
yes,
Also flashing money from the robbery?
yes,
In 1 of 4. 1 of 4, you are in a hotel room in Fort Pierce because you were fleeing from Broward County, correct?
yes,
And Michael was there with you at that time, correct?
yes,
Also, same hotel room, same time, correct?
yes,
Michael was also there, correct?
yes,
Same hotel room, same time, correct?
yes,
Michael was there with you, correct?
yes,
You informed this jury during direct that you got $5,000, correct?
yes,
And you informed this jury that Michael got $15,000, correct?
yes,
You informed the jury that Trayvon got 15, correct?
yes,
You informed this jury that Dedrick got 15,000, correct?
yes,
Michael didn't get 17,000, correct?
no,
In July of 2022, when you were being interviewed by this prosecutor just 8 months ago and you were under oath, did you say something different about the amount that Michael received?
I don't know,
If I showed you that statement, would it refresh your recollection?
yes,
We're on page 23 of the 2022 statement, beginning on line 23 and going to the next page. Start right there. Got it?
yeah,
All right. So I'll say it again. You told this jury that Michael got $15,000, correct?
yes,
Did Michael get $17,000?
no,
In July of 2022, just 8 months ago, did you say something different?
yes,
Is there a reason that your story has changed about how much money Michael got between July of 2022 and now?
yes,
You told this jury that Trayvon got $15,000, correct?
yes,
Did Trayvon get $12,000?
no,
In July of 2022, when this prosecutor was interviewing you and you were under oath, did you say something different than what you're telling this jury now?
yes,
Is there a reason that your story would change about how much money Trayvon got between now and, between July of 2022 and now?
yes,
You told this jury that Dedrick got $15,000, correct?
yes,
Did Dedrick get $12,000?
no,
In the July of 2022, when you were being interviewed by this prosecutor and you were under oath, did you say something different?
yes,
Is there any reason at all why your story would change about how much money Dedrick got between July and now?
yes,
Isn't it true that that reason is because Michael and Trayvon weren't included in the money cut? They didn't get any money.
It definitely got money.
It was other people, correct?
Other people, what are you saying?
Who got money?
No, Michael Boatwright and Trayvon Newsome got money.
Were you lying to the prosecutor in July of 2022 when you told them something different than what you told this jury today?
Yes.
Is there a reason that you lied to the prosecutor in July of 2022 about how much money people got?
Yes.
Did you lie, or is it you just can't keep your story straight?
Objection,
I'll withdraw it.
argumentative.
I'll withdraw it.
You will disregard the question.
When you got back to your house after Reva, who was there that lived at your house?
I don't remember.
Who was there at all when you got back to your house?
I don't remember.
Was there anybody there?
I don't remember.
You said on direct that, well, let me go back to the house thing. It's your testimony that Michael and Trayvon came back to your house, correct?
They all three came back to my house.
After Reva, correct?
Yes.
Was there anybody else there who would have seen you?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
Overruled, I'll allow it, go ahead.
Can you repeat that?
Was there anybody else there at the house who would have seen them?
I don't remember.
You said on direct that Michael changed clothes after the homicide, correct?
Yes.
And you told this jury that he changed into his own clothes, correct?
Yes.
And you said that he did that because he had clothes at your house, correct?
Yes.
Did Michael didn't change into your brother's clothes?
No.
In October of 2018, when you were being interviewed by Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
So which is it? Did Michael change into his own clothes, or did he change into your brother's clothes?
He changed his own clothes, but the hat was mine.
Is there a reason why your story would change about whose clothes Michael changed into between 2018 and now?
Yes.
Isn't it true that the reason you haven't been able to keep your story straight about what clothes Michael changed into is because Michael never changed into any clothes?
Changed.
I'm going to show you the part of what was introduced. This is States 3 was introduced yesterday. You see that? The picture come up in front of you there?
Yes.
These two people, who are these two people?
Michael Boatwright and Trayvon Newsome.
All right, and this is at 5:30 p.m. at the Driftwood Apartment Complex, correct?
Yes.
I'll play a little part, and then I'm going to ask some questions about it. Michael's wearing shorts in this, in this video, correct?
Yes.
He's wearing a t-shirt, correct?
Yes.
He's wearing a camouflage hat, correct?
Yes.
There are no guns on him, correct?
Yes.
He's not carrying any bag, correct?
Yes.
He's not carrying $15,000, correct?
I want to know if he's carrying $15,000.
Okay, so, do you think that there's an ability for $15,000 to be carried in those, whatever he's got on?
Yes.
You would agree with me he's not running, correct?
Yes.
You would agree with me he doesn't appear to be in any hurry, correct?
Yes.
The prosecutor asked you on the first day if the gait and manner of Michael on this video were the same as the gait and manner of the shooter at Riva Motorsports. You remember that?
Yes.
And you said yes, correct? You agreed with the prosecutor about the gait of the Michael in this photo being the same as the gait of the shooter at Riva, correct?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, fair enough. So it's not your testimony then that the gait and manner of this person is the same as the gait and manner of the shooter at Riva?
And you say gait and manner, you saying the way they walk, right?
Yeah, that's the,
They don't walk the same.
thank you. I'm gonna fast forward now to the crash. I don't know. Technology is a little slow. Because it looks like we're frozen. Do we have a brief comfort break anyways, or try to fix
What, technology issue?
It's
Certainly.
just frozen.
Let's take a 5-minute comfort break. Maybe you'll take it back there, you let us know when you have an opportunity to use the restroom to eat. The recess.
All right, then this is the Dodge Journey, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna ask you a couple questions.
Mr. Mark, if I could ask if you could just tell us the timestamp before you're starting, please.
We're at 13:20 right now. Michael is nowhere in that video, correct?
Yes.
You told this jury that Michael was the one who was driving at the time of that crash, correct?
Yes.
Was Trayvon driving at the time of the crash?
No.
Back in October of 2018, when you were under oath and you were describing what happened to Detective Curcio, did you say something different?
Yes.
Were you lying about that in 2018?
Yes.
Is there a reason why your story would change about who was driving the car, Trayvon or Michael, between October of 2018 and today?
Yes.
Or a little more? I'm not going to fast forward it. I don't want to freeze it again. Let me go ahead about 2 minutes. This is a car, I'm sorry, I stopped it at 1620. This is the car that you end up getting into, correct?
Yes.
Who was driving this car?
I don't think it would be appropriate to talk about who was driving that car.
Okay, so you don't think it would be appropriate to talk about who was driving the car?
Yes, as far as my safety, yes.
This is when you get into the car, correct?
Yes.
You're getting into the back seat of the car, correct?
Yes.
What is this that you have in your hand?
Hat.
It's a camouflage hat, correct?
Yes.
This incident that you say happened with Trayvon yesterday, Michael was nowhere to be found at that point, correct?
I didn't say no.
He was nowhere around, correct?
Yeah.
None of the attorneys that are in this room were there, correct?
No.
The judge didn't see this happen, correct?
No.
You told this jury that you have not been promised anything for your testimony, correct?
Yes.
You said the state, and the prosecutor asked you if they even hinted to you what it is that they're going to give you as a sentence, and you said no, correct?
Yes.
You have talked to your attorney, correct?
Yes.
And your attorney has talked to the prosecutor, correct?
Yes.
Isn't it true that your attorney has repeatedly told you that you're going to get 5 to 6 years on this murder case?
That was possible.
That's what he keeps saying to you, correct?
Yes.
Pick it up 1 minute, Judge. I'm almost done, Mr. Allen. I want to give you one more opportunity to talk about whether you have been promised anything. We talked about the fact that the prosecutor has already changed the charge for you from murder in the first degree to murder in the second degree, correct?
Yes.
Has the prosecutor given you any other benefit whatsoever already in exchange for you agreeing to testify?
I don't understand what you mean by benefits.
Has the prosecutor given you a benefit, given you something that is beneficial to you?
Giving me it as in what? I don't understand what you're asking.
Has the prosecutor given you any plea deal as a benefit to you?
Open please, second degree murder. I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay. Has the prosecutor given you any plea deal to any other case?
What do you mean, any other case?
Sure. At the time that you were arrested on this case, you were on probation, correct?
Yes.
You were on probation for 12 separate felonies.
Judge, I'm going to object because my question is, and I would like to take both sides.
did not lie to the prosecutor in July of 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then later in my cross-examination, you indicated that you did lie to the prosecutor in July of 2022, correct?
Yes.
Which is it?
I lied.
Nothing further. Thank you, Judge.
Cross-exam on behalf of Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Judge.
So 12 separate felonies. You are really bad at committing crime. Can we agree with that on that?
Objection, Judge, argumentative and improper impeachment.
It's a question.
And I'm objecting to
I'll
the
withdraw,
question.
Judge, I'll withdraw the question.
The jury will disregard the questions and talk.
Let me get an exhibit here. There's, I need an exhibit. So I'm gonna show you what was entered by the prosecution as, is it Exhibit 9, the gun. This particular gun.
States 9.
This particular gun that you testified to, you testified that this was Dedrick Williams, my client's?
Yes.
Wasn't it your dad that got this gun for you guys?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And actually, your dad got all the weapons involved in this crime, correct?
No.
No?
No.
Which of the weapons in this particular case that you've alleged did not come from your father?
I don't remember anymore.
You don't remember which one, or you don't remember, what don't you remember, I'm sorry?
I don't remember all the guns that he got.
So how could you know that they all didn't come from your dad?
That's just my dad, and I don't know.
So when you say you don't know, you're just saying you don't know, but you don't really know which one came from your dad or not. We can agree on that? I'll withdraw the question, is it? Can we agree that your dad was a criminal?
Objection, Judge, relevance.
Sustained.
Was your dad in the business of not only selling guns, like you testified to, but of moving kilos of cocaine from Miami to Toronto? Isn't that true?
Judge, I'm gonna object and ask for a sidebar.
That last question.
Sir, when was the first time that you met an individual by the name of Travis Savory? You remember meeting that individual?
No.
He actually goes by the name of Baka Not Nice. He's a Toronto rapper. Do you recall meeting him?
No.
Actually, isn't it true that that individual, Bacananice, is the individual that allowed for you to gain access to the video shoot of God's Plan in February of 2018 that was shot here in Miami? Isn't that the way that you got on the set that day?
I never been on the set, no.
So your testimony to this court and to this jury is that you were never on the set of the God's Plan video filmed in Miami in 2018. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. How much money in 2018 did you receive from either Drake or one of Drake's associates?
I never met him before.
You never met Drake?
No.
Do you know who he is, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. But actually, in 2018, when this crime occurred, you didn't know who X was?
No.
Okay, so in 2018, you're from Broward County, correct?
Yes.
You listen to rap music, correct?
Yes.
And you're telling this jury that you didn't know who literally probably the most famous rapper to ever come out of Broward County was in 2018, in June of 2018. That's your testimony?
Yes.
You had no idea who he was?
Objection asked and
Hang on,
answered
hold on,
several
hold on.
times.
Now, you testified that you got rid of a phone previously, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that phone, you've never been able to find it, you've never been able to help law enforcement locate it, is that correct?
Yes.
Isn't it true that the reason that you don't want that phone found is because of all the WhatsApp messages between yourself, people in Toronto, people that are involved in this case that you want to shield from, correct?
I don't know no one in Toronto.
Actually, you want to shield people from this case like you just did with the individual in that car that picked you up. Isn't that true?
It's a reason why I didn't identify her.
Okay. Do you think, as a cooperating witness, that you have the right to come in here in front of a jury in a murder case and refuse to answer a question?
Objection argumentative, Your Honor.
So you're testifying that that person has nothing to do with Toronto, the person that picked you up?
Judge, I'm going to object and ask for a sidebar with regard to this line of questioning.
You can answer.
Repeat that.
Is it your testimony in front of this jury that the individual that you're refusing to identify that picked you up in that car has nothing to do with Toronto?
Yeah, she don't have anything to do with Toronto.
Okay. Now, actually, the individual that sold the guns that you testified to were involved in this crime, right? At least one of them, right?
Yes.
Okay, your dad,
Yes.
correct? Okay. And you can't sit here in front of the jury and tell us how many of the weapons that were used in this crime came from him. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Could we say at least 4 of them? Is that safe?
No.
Less?
Yes.
Okay, so you tell me that you obviously have some recollection of how many. So I would like to ask you, help me, how many were involved? How many came from your dad?
I don't know the exact number.
Okay, so but you know it wasn't 4.
Yes.
Okay, how do you know it wasn't 4?
Because I know for sure Trayvon Newsome gun didn't come from him.
Okay, so 3?
I don't know.
Actually, the person that sold the weapons, a month after you finally cooperated in 2022, was murdered. Isn't that true?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Was your father murdered?
No.
Was your stepfather murdered?
No.
Okay. Now, you've actually given a version where you put my client as the person that's basically telling you what to do, correct?
Yeah.
But actually, in every single video and every single time that we see you, you're literally being chauffeured around by him. So I don't understand, like, how is it that you're saying that Mr. Williams, which basically looks like your chauffeur, is the one that's calling the shots. Is that what you're saying?
Objection, argumentative, and confusing and
Overruled.
misleading question.
Overruled.
You can answer, sir.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's chauffeuring me around because it's actually his car.
Okay, but we'll get to that part, because you're actually, the car that was used in this crime, you're the one that rented it, correct?
No.
You actually went physically to go get the car, correct?
Yes, I went with the person who went and got the car, yes.
Okay, so you actually physically went to go pick up the car, right?
Yes.
And you provided at least now, at least 3 of the weapons involved, correct?
What are you talking about? I don't get what you're saying.
The weapons that were taken, you brought them, right? Your father gave them to you and you brought them.
I never told you that.
Now, on the day that this occurred, when you went to Riva Sports, you testified that it was my client that noticed X. When in reality, wasn't it you the one that noticed him?
I can't notice him if I don't know him.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that wasn't it you the one that pointed him out, and wasn't it you the one that said, hey, that's X? Correct?
I didn't know that.
You actually went into the store with your phone, right? And when you're in the phone, in Reba, you pick up the phone and you call people to alert him of exactly who's in Reba. Isn't that true?
Yes, I called Michael Boatwright to let him know that he was in there, but the call never went through. But also, Dedrick showed us a picture of him before we went inside the store.
Actually, you called your dad. Isn't that true?
Negative. No.
Who was it that arranged, when you fled the state of Florida, who was it that arranged that? That was your dad, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he arranged that so that you could flee, right? Flee prosecution.
No, he arranged it so I can get myself together to see what I wanted to do.
Get yourself together.
To see what I wanted to do because he's actually the person that wanted me to turn myself in.
Okay. And what's the purpose of leaving the state of Florida if you want to turn yourself in?
I didn't want to turn myself in, but he wanted me to turn myself in.
You did it. You wanted to flee and escape justice, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, a lot of what you've testified to relies on your memory because you waited years and years and years pursuant to your testimony to finally come clean, correct?
Yes.
So this jury and all of us are relying on your memory. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. You're a drug addict. Isn't that true?
Judge, I'm gonna object. Relevance.
Judge, you want
Also-
sidebar? Yeah. In 2018, you were in a relationship, correct?
Yes.
And what's the name of the person that you were in a relationship with?
Mercedes.
Mercedes, and that's the person that you have tattooed on your forehead?
Yes.
Okay, and in addition to the relationship that you had with Mercedes, you had relationship with multiple other women.
Objection.
Is that true?
Relevance, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Judge, if I say,
Sustained.
okay. Were you also in a relationship with Miss Tony Robbins?
Objection. Relevance.
Oh.
You can answer.
No.
No, so you basically testified previously that you would call her every other day. Are you telling this jury that you would call her because it was a platonic relationship? You were friends? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what the time means.
Okay, are you saying that you were not in a sexual relationship and that when you would call her every other day, it was because you guys were friends?
No, I was calling her every day because we was renting cars to go rob people.
Were you doing that every day or every other day?
Every single day.
Okay, so your testimony now is that you were doing it every single day, correct?
Just about, yes.
Okay, and you're saying that every single day was through Tony, correct?
Yes.
Actually,
Through Tony, through through Dedrick Williams.
Actually, isn't the truth that Mercedes would look through your phone and you would take every opportunity that you could to use Dedrick Williams' phone to talk to her so that you wouldn't get in trouble? Isn't that true?
Objection. Relevance.
You can answer.
No, it's not true because I had 4 cell phones that she didn't know about all of them. So I didn't need to use his phone.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. You had 4 cell phones, right?
Yes.
What's the need for 4 cell phones? What type of activity are you in that you need 4 cell phones? Can you explain that to this jury?
I do fraud.
You do fraud.
Yes, I was doing fraud, yes.
Okay. And how do 4 cell phones help you do fraud? Please explain.
I need different phones to use.
No, I understand that you need different phones, but help me understand why you need 4 phones and how that can help you commit the crime of fraud.
For one, you changing the IP address.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
For one, to keep the IP address changed.
Okay, the IP address, for what reason? The IP address for when you contact the person that you're defrauding, is that?
No, I'm not calling anyone to defraud them. I don't want them to know that I'm defrauding them.
Okay, so is it by the internet? Explain it to me. Explain it to me, like, what is the IP address? How do you use that for fraud? And how did you use the phones for that?
Objection. As to relevance and lateral matter.
Sustained.
So even though you had 4 phones, the day that this occurred, you're telling the jury that you only had 1?
Yes.
And how is that?
Objection argumentative.
You can answer. How is it that the day that you went to commit this crime is the day that you don't have your 4 phones, but you only have 1?
Because as you can see, I wasn't doing fraud anymore.
Okay, I'm sorry. You just testified that you were doing fraud, and now you're testifying that you weren't doing fraud. So which is it?
I wasn't doing fraud at the time because I was committing robberies.
Okay, so you switched. You switched career paths. You went from fraud to robbery. Is that what you're saying?
I was kind of back and forth.
You had your feet in both pools, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the day in June of 2018, on the day that this crime occurred, on that particular day, you had retired from fraud?
I wouldn't say that. I just didn't need the phones that day.
Okay. And the 1 phone that you had with you, that's the phone that you destroyed, correct?
Yes.
And you kind of touched on it in your prior testimony that you know that you didn't throw it away, right?
Yes.
But you can't remember what you did with it.
Yes.
Can you remember whether you destroyed the phone physically or you just tossed it?
No, I didn't destroy it. I don't remember destroying it.
You remember destroying it, but you can't recall what you actually did with it.
No.
Isn't it true that there's information and evidence on that phone that you do not want disclosed?
Yes.
Right, and that's why you got rid of it, correct?
I didn't want to be attached to the phone. That would see me call the Michael Boatwright.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I I said I didn't want to be attached to the phone numbers that would see me calling Michael Boatwright while we were in the store.
Right, or anybody else that you may have called before or after, including your dad, your sister, and a bunch of other people, correct?
The reason I destroyed the phone was because I didn't want anyone to know that I was calling Michael Boatwright.
Okay, but you actually used that phone to call your dad and your sister and all those people after the crime, right?
I called my dad.
You called your dad actually the same day, correct?
Yes.
So let's talk about that. On the day that this occurred in June of 2018, when was the first time that you called your dad from that phone?
Can't remember that.
You actually called him while you were in Reba?
No.
When you say you can't remember at all, or was it an hour later?
It was after the murder.
Okay, then I understand, but after the murder is a very broad term. I'm trying to limit it a little bit for the jury. Was it 4 hours? Was it 10 minutes?
Maybe about 4 hours, maybe. It was nighttime.
It was nighttime, okay. But you for sure remember that you did not call him from when you were inside Reba and you first saw him.
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled.
You can answer.
I don't think I called him on the. No, I didn't call him on the.
Now, the phone that you have admitted that you got rid of and that you can't find anymore, is it your testimony that that is the phone that you had at Reba on the day that this occurred?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know whether or not you called your sister from that phone?
Yes.
Okay. And you took that phone up to Georgia?
No.
Okay. Where was it that you destroyed that phone or got rid of that phone? What state were you in?
Florida.
Florida. Were you at home?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you recall the location that you were in when you got rid of the phone that you took to commit this murder?
No.
Now, you would agree with me that that is a fact that should ring in your memory. That's an important fact. Do you agree with me?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
So, you're testifying in this case because you wanna save your own skin, or do you genuinely have remorse?
Objection not relevant.
Oh,
Which is it, sir?
Can you repeat that?
Are you testifying in this case because you want to save your own skin, or do you have genuine remorse?
Well, I definitely would like to get a lighter sentence, yes, but I definitely have remorse. I sit and look at the stand and see people crying, and I'm trying to do my best to get family, friends, and his fans justice.
Okay, so you have remorse today, now, when you see them, or you had remorse previously? When did this start?
I've been having remorse, probably about 5 months, 6 months.
5 months or 6 months, so really consistent when the time that you finally came forward allegedly and told the state attorney the truth? Is that what you're testifying to?
Objection argumentative, Your Honor.
I'll give you some latitude.
You can answer, sir.
Well, actually, I had a lot of time to think about it because I don't know if I should say it or not, but I'm on 23-hour lockdown, so I have a lot of time to think about it. And I'm thinking about other people.
Okay.
Instead of being selfish, I only think about myself and trying to just.
But you actually had years and years to think about that, and then coincidentally, you just started thinking about that when you finally cooperated with the state of Florida. Is that right?
I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't have no remorse at all, but by me